In 2016, Sam Allardyce enjoyed a single game as England manager before his untimely departure from the role. But what happens if you restore him to his position on Football Manager 2017 and give him chance to lead England all over again? Let's find out. When we joined his nation in October 2017, in reality, his only managerial game would come against Slovakia. But now we have a far larger sample size. Over the last year, it's been a shaky start for Allardyce. On paper, his side were in a straightforward World Cup qualifying group, but have had to settle for a second place finish, with rival Scotland topping the group. On a positive side, England were undefeated and conceded just 7 goals in 10 games. It's worthwhile remembering we're just a year out from that disastrous Euro 2016 elimination to Iceland. This is definitely not a side full of confidence. With Denmark up next in the playoffs, there's no guarantee that qualification will be achieved. The game would go all the way to extra time in the second leg. A 3-2 victory, courtesy of goals by Lallana and Marcus Rashford, meant England would be present for the World Cup in 2018. And with a few weeks to spare, Big Sam has submitted his tournament squad. Largely, this looks pretty similar to who went in reality. The most surprising inclusion has to be Troy Deeney. Age 29, he's in his prime, and is coming off a 20-goal season with Newcastle. I presume Kane will be his go-to starter, but not too bad to have in reserve. The draw for this tournament has been relatively kind to England. They find themselves in a group alongside the hosts, Chile and Costa Rica. Saying that, the latter shouldn't be underestimated, as back in 2014, they did win a group against us, Uruguay and Italy. This time around, England will be playing the opening game of the tournament. Allardyce has opted to go with a 5-4-1. Maybe a little cautious, but avoiding defeat in game 1 is essential. The manager's decision paid off quickly. Sterling made a break down the left wing before crossing to Harry Kane at the back post. England continued to show quality in the final third. A nice build-up leads to Danny Drinkwater finding space on the edge of the box. His perfect through ball leads to 2-0. Matchday 2 would see England lose 1-0 to Chile. Needing all 3 points in the final match to progress, there was high pressure. Once again, Sterling would find himself out wide. This time a low cross to the back post ensured another victory. Whilst his side couldn't top the group, 6 points were enough to ensure progression. Once again, the defence was relatively positive, conceding just 1 goal in 3 games. Finishing second, though, meant a tricky round of 16 tie against Portugal. And with that in mind, Allardyce is showing some tactical flexibility with a 4-3-2-1. The only goal of the game would come in the second half. Henderson's corner would find Dele Alli. Like in Euro 2024, it would be England v Switzerland in the quarter-finals. Following an explosive start to the game, England found themselves 3-1 ahead. 2 late goals by Kane and Sterling ensured a 5-1 victory and meant, like in reality, England were on their way to a semi-final. Allardyce, though, wouldn't have any answers to Argentina. A decisive counter-attack saw Higuain played in behind. His finish would be the game's only goal. Despite elimination, the manager definitely did some good things. His side would score 13 goals, including 3 in their third-place playoff win against Poland. Without a doubt, the form of Harry Kane was essential to the team's success. The South Americans were simply too good, though, and it's not surprising they went on to win the whole thing. But there would be no time to rest on his laurels. With a third-place finish in the 2018 World Cup, Sam would retain his job for the upcoming Euro 2020. Between 2018 and 2020, qualification would take place, and England would finish second in Group H behind Croatia. For the tournament, it would be Group E. Belgium will definitely be difficult opposition, but Georgia and Ireland should be beatable opposition for England. Once again, we have Sam's squad submission. Largely it's the same, and I don't anticipate many changes to the starting 11. One interesting inclusion has to be Saido Berahino. In reality, in 2020, he'd be competing for Zulte Waregem in the Belgian league. In this alternate reality, he scored 22 Premier League goals and will be competing for a Euro Championship title. This time around, England would be unbeaten in the group stage, winning 3 out of 3, not conceding a single goal. Round of 16 would see some big matchups. England would have a straightforward tie against Austria and move on to the quarter-finals. It would be Norway. Berahino would justify his inclusion from the start as he opens the scoring in the middle. With the game poised at 2-1, England were in need of another goal to ensure victory. Callum Wilson finds a perfect through ball to Rashford, who converts. Once again, England would meet Portugal, this time in the semis. Ronaldo would score the only goals of the game, the second coming from the flick on at the near post. England would fall just before the final hurdle. This time around, though, they wouldn't lose to the eventual winners. That honour would be France's, as they win their first Euro title since 2000. Ronaldo would win another Golden Boot. England's top scorer this time would be Berahino, but Sterling and Rashford each contributed another 2. This result would see the end of Sam Allardyce as England manager. His overall record saw him win 36 of 52 matches. On average, his side would score over 2 goals per game and concede just 0.67. His tournament record saw him lead England in 12 matches. They would win 9 and lose just 3. Both major tournaments would end in semi-final defeats. Without a doubt, it would have been interesting to see what Sam Allardyce could have achieved as England manager. In 2016, the national team was in a state of complete disarray. Whilst Gareth Southgate definitely settled the ship, part of me wishes we could have seen what Big Sam could have offered the national programme.